In this video we're going to show you how to assemble an interactive iQRite touch frame, the world's first kit-set touch frame that allows any user and integrator to simply assemble their own touch frame, creating a touch frame for plasmas, LCDs, a whiteboard, a projection screen, a wall surface, a table, whatever your project might be. And so stay now with me as we go through the very simple process of assembling a iQRite interactive touch frame. Now, when you receive your touch frame, it'll be in some packaging to protect both ends of the frame sticks and all of the components, as you can see in the previous photograph, of all the various components that will be making up your touch frame that we will ship to you. So here we have the 4 pieces, 2 sides, a top and a bottom. So now let me just lay them out. So that's the first thing to do, and you'll notice that each end has been identified, A, B, C and D, and it's obviously a matter really of just aligning them up and determining which parts will be going where. And so let's see, so our first part here is going to be starting on A. In fact, it's going to be on C. So what you'll see here is there's a tongue and a groove slot. So it's important, obviously, to match that up. So as I say, start with C, and you might just want handy just to lift it up a little bit, just so you can get the tongue and groove lined up, keeping it at 90 degrees as you slowly now assemble it. So now we've got the first corner together. It still needs the screws, and we'll come back to that shortly in a moment. So now what I'm going to be doing is we're going to be going to D. So now we're going to be doing this corner over here, and I'll just turn this around so it's positioned well for the camera and for myself. And so now we're going to just again just go through that process of just identifying the groove position. And just get that in there. Can't quite get that angle there, and there, okay, quite straightforward. So you just got to get that, it's a little T shape there, and as you can see, it just simply slides in. Now obviously there is a little bit of an order of this because you've got the groove, and now the final part can just go straight in. So I'm going to turn this around again, just slide it around, okay, and just give us plenty of room at this end here now. And so now this is the final step. Being very careful, be careful of the pins, not to damage them at all, because that will actually prevent your touch frame from working accurately. And let's just now push that in there nice and firm, and that one's already ready to go in, and now we have it virtually assembled. Now, next part is to actually put the little screws in. So a 2mm hex screwdriver. Now, most important, don't over tighten them. Do them up firm, but not over tighten, because it is a very fine thread, and there will be a danger of you actually stripping the thread, which will be a problem should you want to go disassembling more than once. So just got to be nice and firm, but not over tightened, being careful not to drop them on the floor and losing some of the screws. Just a few turns there, and there we are. Good idea to do this process without interruption, so you just into a little orderly procedure here, not to be distracted, and forgetting where your screws are and where you got up to. So we'll just get the next one, we'll place that on here. Again, just a couple of turns. And this one. There we go. Just here I need to just make sure that, because it's a very fine alignment of the holes, sometimes you just need to make sure that it's pushed in nice and tight and firm, because it is a small hole. The screws having to go through 2 holes to get to the thread in the base part, but shouldn't be a problem. Just as long as you take a little bit of care and just take your time doing it. And there we are, the next screw's just gone in, a couple of turns, and so basically we have one end fully completed with not a lot else to do to it. So there we are there, and let's do this last end here. And of course, well before assembling the frame, you would have decided on how you're going to mount the frame to your screen, your wall surface or whatever, and so you may or may not have already determined whether to use the clamp mounts here. In this particular case, we've actually just left them on from a previous assemble, but they may not have actually been placed if you were doing this. In fact, they would not have been placed on if you were doing it for the first time. And so if you were using the VHB tape, that might be your option, which would be the next process, which we've demonstrated on one of our other videos in part 2. We've done that on a smaller frame. Or you could use Velcro, would be one of the alternatives. You could use glue, but we wouldn't recommend you use a permanent glue that you will never be able to remove the frame should you ever change the particular application or the use of it, but entirely up to you. And just do the final corner. There we are, and I should have 2 left. Very good. So now we've got the last 2 to go in. There we are, and the final screw. So as you can see, the process is very straightforward. No wiring to do whatsoever. This cable on this end here is permanently attached in this model of the interactive touch frame, and of course just a standard, very familiar USB cable. So now that is now ready to be mounted onto our screen, projector or whatever. In this case, this one here would be more suited for a projector due to the dimensions. That would be plugged into the computer, and then the process would be the calibration process, which is just as simple as you've just seen here. Okay, so that's the demonstration of how you assemble an interactive iQRite touch frame. Thank you for watching.